I'll never forget that night. It was 2020, my senior year of high school in San Antonio, Texas. I was 18 at the time, and while most people were locked indoors due to the pandemic, my friends and I saw it as an opportunity to explore. The world felt empty and eerie, the perfect setting for my favorite pastime, urban exploration. Exploring abandoned places, haunted locations, and hidden trails always thrilled me. I had faced plenty of dangers before: homeless people, cults, even a gun pointed at me. But nothing ever shook me quite like what happened that night. This memory, more than any other, still chills me to my core. I had just started dating a girl named Clarissa. We'd been talking for a few weeks when I suggested a late-night adventure. The idea of exploring OP Schnabel Park at 3 a.m. didn't faze her, at least not at first. The park was beautiful during the day, but by night, it transformed into something unrecognizable, dark, silent, and unsettling. We arrived at the park under a black sky. The trees swallowed the moonlight, leaving us in near total darkness. I preferred not to use a flashlight. It ruins your night vision and attracts attention. Besides, I liked the way the shadows made everything feel alive. Clarissa wasn't as comfortable, but she trusted me. 15 minutes into our walk, the forest seemed unnaturally quiet. Even the usual rustle of leaves or distant hum of insects was missing. I suggested taking a lesser-known off-road trail that would loop us back to my truck. Clarissa agreed, although I could sense her unease growing. We had barely taken a few steps down the trail when it started. A soft, melodic sound floated through the air, a flute. We stopped dead in our tracks. The music was hauntingly beautiful, its cadence perfect, almost hypnotic. But in the silence of the forest, it felt out of place. My heart started pounding. Clarissa grabbed my arm, her fingers trembling. "Who's out here at this hour?" she whispered. The sound seemed to come from the direction of the main trail, but the trees made it impossible to pinpoint. It was getting louder, closer. My instincts told me we weren't alone, and Clarissa must have felt it too. She started muttering prayers under her breath, tears welling in her eyes. The eerie tune seemed to surround us, coming from everywhere and nowhere at once. I took Clarissa's hand and told her we needed to leave. "I won't let anything happen to you," I promised. Then we ran. The flute stopped, and for a moment, I thought we were safe. But just as relief began to settle in, we heard it. The snapping of branches and the rustle of leaves. Something big was moving through the woods. Before we could react, a massive shape dashed across the trail in front of us. I didn't see what it was. There was no silhouette, no form, just a rush of wind and the distinct feeling of something enormous. And then, silence. We froze, paralyzed by fear. The forest seemed to close in around us. I whispered to Clarissa, trying to stay calm. "Let's go back the way we came." We turned around, but as soon as we retraced our steps, the flute started again. This time, it was louder than ever, echoing through the trees like a siren. It felt like whoever, or whatever, was playing, it was toying with us, leading us deeper into the woods. "Run," I told Clarissa, and we sprinted back toward the main trail. The sound followed us, relentless. Every shadow felt alive, every rustle a threat. My chest burned as we ran, adrenaline the only thing keeping me moving. Finally, we reached the clearing where my truck was parked. The flute had stopped, but I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. I didn't slow down until we were inside the truck, the doors locked. I started the engine and tore out of there, leaving the dark woods and the haunting melody behind. The next day, I scoured the internet, desperate to find some explanation for what we'd experienced. I found stories about ghosts, cults, and strange animal noises, but nothing about a flute. To this day, I can't explain what we heard or what crossed our path that night. Clarissa still backs up my story, though she refuses to talk about it in detail. She told me she never wants to set foot in the woods again. As for me, I still love exploring, but I've never gone back to OP Schnabel Park after dark. Some mysteries are better left unsolved. Thanks for joining us on this spine-tingling journey. If you want more stories like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Ghoul's Archive. Stay safe out there and keep an ear out for the unknown.